According to National Electrical Code Section 110.14, CANEFRA, bone terminations and conductors of circuits rated 100 amps or larger must be rated at 75 degrees Celsius unless specifically listed and identified otherwise. This requirement ensures safe operation and prevents overheating of electrical components. The 75 degrees Celsius rating refers to the maximum temperature that the conductor insulation and termination are designed to withstand continuously under normal operating conditions. Selecting the correct temperature rating is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it prevents thermal runaway, which occurs when the heat generated by the conductor exceeds its ability to dissipate heat. This can lead to insulation breakdown, short circuits, and potentially fires. Secondly, it ensures that the conductor can carry its rated current without exceeding its temperature limit, maintaining the integrity of the electrical system. Thirdly, complying with the NEC requirements is essential for legal and safety reasons, ensuring that the electrical installation meets the minimum standards for safety and performance. When selecting conductors and terminations for circuits rated 100 amps or larger, engineers, electricians, and installers must consider the following factors. Firstly, the ampacity of the conductor must be equal to or greater than the calculated load current. This ensures that the conductor can handle the expected current without overheating. Secondly, the temperature rating of a conductor and termination must be at least 75 degrees Celsius unless specifically permitted otherwise. This is to comply with the NEC requirements and prevent thermal issues. Thirdly, the conductor and termination must be compatible with each other. Using dissimilar metals or incompatible materials can lead to corrosion and failure. Fourthly, the installation must be done according to the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC requirements. This includes proper torquing of connections, supporting of conductors, and protection against physical damage. To determine the appropriate conductor size and type, engineers and electricians typically use ampacity tables provided in the NEC. These tables list the allowable ampacities of various conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation conditions. For example, Table 310.15b16 in the 2020 NEC provides ampacity ratings for conductors insulated with commonly used materials such as THHN, THWN, and XHHW. When selecting a conductor from the ampacity table, it's important to consider the ambient temperature and any derating factors that may apply. If the ambient temperature exceeds 30 degrees Celsius, the ampacity of the conductor must be derated according to the correction factors provided in the NEC. Similarly, if multiple conductors are bundled together, the ampacity must be derated to account for the increased heat generated by the group of conductors. Terminations, such as lugs, connectors, and splices, must also be rated for at least 75 degrees Celsius. These components are responsible for making the electrical connection between the conductor and the equipment, and they must be able to withstand the same temperature as the conductor. When selecting terminations, it's important to choose products that are listed and labeled for the intended application. Listed terminations have been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory to meet specific performance standards, including temperature rating, ampacity, and mechanical strength. In addition to selecting the correct components, proper installation techniques are also crucial for ensuring safe and reliable operation. All connections must be made tightly and securely, using the proper torque specified by the manufacturer. Over-tightening or under-tightening connections can lead to overheating and failure. Conductors must also be supported properly to prevent strain on the terminations. This can be accomplished by using cable ties, clamps, or other approved methods. Furthermore, conductors must be protected against physical damage, such as abrasion, impact, or exposure to chemicals. This can be accomplished by using conduit, raceway, or other protective measures. It is worth noting that certain exceptions to the 75 degrees Celsius rule may apply in specific situations. For example, some equipment may be listed and labeled for use with conductors rated at 90 degrees Celsius. In these cases, the high temperature rating may be used, provided that the equipment is also rated for that temperature. However, it's important to carefully review the equipment documentation and the NEC requirements to ensure that the high temperature rating is permitted. In summary, the 75 degrees Celsius rating for terminations and conductors of circuits rated 100 amps or larger is a critical safety requirement that must be followed to prevent overheating and ensure reliable operation. By selecting the correct components, using proper installation techniques, and complying with the NEC requirements, engineers, electricians, and installers can create electrical systems that are safe, efficient, and code compliant. Here are some additional points to consider. Firstly, regular inspection and maintenance of electrical systems are essential for identifying and addressing potential problems before they lead to failures. This includes checking connections for tightness, inspecting conductors for damage, and verifying that all components are operating within their rated temperature limits. Secondly, proper training and education are crucial for ensuring that electrical workers have the knowledge and skills necessary to perform their jobs safely and effectively. This includes understanding the NEC requirements, proper installation techniques, and the hazards associated with electrical work. Thirdly, using high-quality components and materials can significantly improve the reliability and longevity of electrical systems. While it may be tempting to save money by using cheaper products, the long-term costs of failures and downtime can outweigh the initial savings. Fourthly, keeping up to date with the latest revisions to the NEC is essential for ensuring that electrical installations comply with the most current safety standards. The NEC is revised every 3 years, and it's important to be aware of any changes that may affect your work. Fifthly, consulting with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector can provide valuable guidance and assistance with complex electrical installations. These professionals have the expertise and experience to ensure that your electrical system meets all applicable codes and standards. Let's consider some specific examples. Suppose you are installing a 200 amp service entrance for a residential building. According to the NEC, the service entrance conductors must be sized to carry the calculated load current, and the terminations must be rated for at least 75 degrees Celsius. You select 2/0 AWG copper conductors with THHN insulation, which have an ampacity of 175 amps at 75 degrees Celsius. This is sufficient to carry the calculated load current of 150 amps, with some margin for future expansion. You also select lugs and connectors that are listed and labeled for use with 2/0 AWG copper conductors and rated for 75 degrees Celsius. You install the conductors and terminations according to the manufacturer's instructions, making sure to torque all connections to the specified value. You support the conductors properly to prevent strain on the terminations, and you protect them against physical damage by enclosing them in conduit. In another example, suppose you are installing a 100 amp feeder circuit to supply a motor control center in a commercial building. The feeder conductors must be sized to carry the motor load, and the terminations must be rated for at least 75 degrees Celsius. You select number 3 AWG copper conductors with XHHW insulation, which have an ampacity of 100 amps at 75 degrees Celsius. This is sufficient to carry the calculated motor load of 80 amps, with some margin for future expansion. You also select lugs and connectors that are listed and labeled for use with number 3 AWG copper conductors and rated for 75 degrees Celsius. You install the conductors and terminations according to the manufacturer's instructions, making sure to torque all connections to the specified value. You support the conductors properly to prevent strain on the terminations, and you protect them against physical damage by enclosing them in conduit. In both of these examples, you have followed the NEC requirements and selected components that are rated for at least 75 degrees Celsius. This ensures that the electrical systems will operate safely and reliably without overheating or causing damage. The NEC is a comprehensive set of rules and guidelines for electrical installations, and it's important to understand and comply with its requirements. The 75 degrees Celsius rating for terminations and conductors of circuits rated 100 amps or larger is just one of many important safety measures that are included in the code. By following the NEC, you can help to prevent electrical fires, shocks, and other hazards. Furthermore, consider the impact of technological advancements on conductor and termination ratings. For example, newer insulation materials may offer high temperature ratings, potentially allowing for smaller conductor sizes or higher ampacities. Similarly, advanced termination designs may provide improved heat dissipation, further enhancing the performance and safety of electrical systems. Staying informed about these developments is essential for electrical professionals to make informed decisions and optimize their designs. In addition to the technical aspects, it's also important to consider the economic implications of conductor and termination selection. Using oversized conductors or high-temperature terminations can increase the initial cost of the installation, but it may also reduce the long-term operating costs by minimizing energy losses and extending the lifespan of the equipment. Therefore, a thorough cost-benefit analysis should be performed to determine the most efficient and cost-effective solution. Finally, it's worth emphasizing the importance of collaboration and communication among all stakeholders involved in an electrical installation project. This includes engineers, electricians, inspectors, and building owners. By working together and sharing information, they can ensure that the project is completed safely, efficiently, and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. In conclusion, the 75 degrees Celsius rating for terminations and conductors of circuits rated 100 amps or larger is a fundamental principle of electrical safety. By understanding the reasons behind this requirement and following the NEC guidelines, electrical professionals can create installations that are safe, reliable, and code compliant. The continuous learning and adaptation to new technologies and best practices are crucial for ensuring the ongoing safety and efficiency of electrical systems. Remember to always consult the latest version of the NEC and seek guidance from qualified professionals when necessary.